Suing, suing Florida nursing homes for wrongful death will get harder if this bill passes. Only spouses and children, listen to this, only spouses and children under 25 will be able to sue after a residence deletion if the legislation passes. Boy, Florida is an interesting state. They got a lot going on down there, especially from a medical perspective. I've noticed the block is hot in Florida right now. The block is hot in Florida right now. And this is only making it hotter, especially from a medical field perspective, from a medical field standpoint. It's only making a block that much hotter. So let's get into it. It says a new bill will make it harder to sue Florida nursing homes and other long-term care facilities after the death of a resident. House Bill 1029, along with its companion Senate Bill 1304, would raise the bar for these cases to the current requirements for medical negligence suits in Florida. If passed, only spouses and surviving children under 25 would be able to file a wrongful death suit against long-term care facilities in the Sunshine State. Bruh. So let me get this straight. Let me break it down. So if you feel that a nursing home or skilled nursing facility has done wrong or has contributed in the wrong way to the death of your loved one, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel like that, this bill right here, House Bill 1029, along with this companion, Senate Bill 1304, they're saying, you know what? I'm sorry you feel that way, but I got to ask you a couple questions first. Are you under 25? Are you 25 or under? We on that Leo DiCaprio type stuff now. Are you 25 and under? Because if you a day over 25 or 26 rather, this is not flying. Now, how many 80 and 90-year-olds you know with 25-year-old kids or less running around? I mean, not saying that it couldn't happen. It could very well much so be the case. But how many do you honestly know in your life, or for anybody that's working in this field, how many 80, 90-year-olds do you know walking around with 24, 23, 22-year-old kids and or spouses? Unless they on some Anna Nicole type stuff. You dig? But let's continue. This is a quote. There are not a lot of people in nursing homes with children under 25, said Zane Smith, director advocacy at AARP Florida. This would absolutely relieve nursing homes of any accountability for a wrongful death. Ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to get themselves off the hook. Y'all already claiming that we are the fake nurses of the country. We are not going to continue this madness. We need y'all to stop suing us. Okay? This is how this is going to go. We're going to pass these bills, and this is how it's going to go. The proposed legislation comes as Republican lawmakers renew their annual push to shield businesses from costly lawsuits aimed at curbing what Governor Ron DeSantis has called a cottage industry of litigation. There is little data on the prevalence of frivolous lawsuits against long-term care homes in Florida, experts say. Proponents say excessive lawsuits are rampant, and the cost of defending the diverts resource cost. Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My screen is cracked. The cost of defending them diverts resources from resident care. Opponents say the legislation, particularly its wrongful death provision, takes away a tool for families to hold facilities accountable. Rep. Randy Maggard, Republican Dade City, and Senator Colleen Burton, Republican Lakeland, the bill respective sponsors did not respond to requests for comment. Okay. Lawsuits against long-term care facilities nationally have grown more expensive to settle in the recent years. Several studies of the industry's liability claim costs suggest. At the same time, Florida has seen a spike in serious violations in its nursing homes, according to state citation data. So the state is saying that, yeah, y'all are messing the game up. Okay. It's messed up in these homes. Y'all messing the game up. It's not as it should be. We need to get this together. But these lawmakers are like, nah, y'all doing too much. Now, we're not saying that you can't sue. We just need you to be 25 and under. Okay. So, because a lot of y'all old people just be suing for no reason. That's essentially what they say. That is really what they saying. Like, and this is actually kind of wild when you think about it. But anyway, let's continue. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. The state agency for healthcare administration, which levies these citations, did not provide the same data for assisted living facilities, which data suggests have seen the sharpest increase in cost of settling these lawsuits. Oh yeah. Currently in Florida, spouses and surviving children of any age can file a lawsuit alleging that a long-term care home is responsible for a resident's death. Siblings, friends, or unmarried parents or partners, cannot pursue these types of cases on behalf of a loved one they believe died due to neglect or abuse. A spokesperson for the Florida Healthcare Association, an industry group that represents 80% of nursing homes statewide, has made reducing lawsuits against the facilities a top priority this legislative season. Said the law would curb the sue to settle climate in the long-term care sector. I can tell you that too often lawsuits demoralize hardworking staff and divert resources that otherwise could be used to invest in quality care. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's funny because maybe if they paid their staff more, then they wouldn't have to worry about so many lawsuits. Maybe if they maybe if they did more for the staff, they wouldn't have to worry about that. So, I mean, it is what it is. But let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. If passed, the legislation would allow the estate of the deceased person to sue for survival damages, a much narrow type of recovery that includes funeral expenses and medical expenses, as well as pain and suffering that the resident experienced from the time of their injury or illness until their death. The estate is the property party to recover appropriate damages and be made whole, not halfway themselves, said Jason Hand, a vice president at the Florida Senior Living Association, which represents companies that operate assisted living facilities in the state. They are telling you how they really feel now, ladies and gentlemen. They're telling you how they really feel. Critics said the legislation would eliminate nearly all wrongful death lawsuits against long term care facilities. 90% of our cases will be blocked by this provision, said Michael Brevda, a lawyer at Senior Justice Law Firm, which represents families in these suits. Rarely is there a surviving spouse, and oftentimes they don't have the physical or cognitive wherewithal to litigate a case. This would this would give immunity to Florida nursing homes and assisted living facilities when they delete patients. A spokesperson for AARP said the organization's national team is unaware of any other state that have laws bearing children over 24 from suing long-term care facilities after a patient's deleted. The bill also requires residents or their relatives to get a written statement from an expert, such as a doctor or nurse with certain types of relevant experience, who is willing to cooperate that they have reasonable grounds for the case before the family can file a lawsuit alleging negligence or a violation of residents' rights. The expert cannot testify to suit right now against a nursing home for supporting their case, said Donna Fudge, an attorney at Fudge Broadwater, who defends long-term care facilities when sued. It's like a back and forth game. It's really like a game. It's almost like WWE from the way they set it up in this article. You dig what I'm saying? They don't want to get sued, but these people feel like they're doing wrong. And we obviously know that the quality of care is not up to par in most nursing homes, not just Florida, but in most of them, which is why they're in the situations that they are in to begin with. Which is why they're in those situations that they are in to begin with. So they're talking about, well, lawsuits take away resources that could provide quality care. Well, if they were doing that from the beginning, maybe it wouldn't be so many lawsuits. Now, let's not get it twisted. You're never going to make everybody happy no matter what you do. You could have been given the greatest care on the planet, and some people are still not going to be happy. But at the end of the day, as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you're providing the best care that you can, that's all you can do. Hopefully, Florida gets it together so they don't have to subject themselves to articles like this where the block continues to be hot for them.